4 or 5 rounds, even though it was a bit of a chess match, nothing much happening. So it was whatever you liked. 2 of the judges liked him, obviously, and one of them liked me.
What was your comparison early on with Ferrer and Morales? And their fights obviously got better as they fought each other more. Do you think this rivalry lends itself to that? 2, 3, even 4 fights?
I mean, obviously they was great fighters. There was a great trilogy of those. But I do think that if there was another one, I think it would take off from where we just left. You know,
Definitely.
being in the last 5 rounds when I started really going at it and putting it on him, though I felt really in control in that, and you could hear the crowd and it sounded like they was enjoying it.
Joe, what was your take on the first 6, 7 rounds?
I had a level after 4. After 4 rounds it was 2 apiece. And I thought, well, right, okay, we were beginning the game, came back to the corner, said his jaw had gone. Flipping hell, so I said, don't try and do anything silly, don't retaliate. Obviously, I think we lost them mid-rounds, 5, 6, 7. And then someone told us in the corner, like, Sky, if you're 6-1 down, like, fucking what? So that's how subjective boxing is. Them early rounds are nip and tuck, depends what you look at. If you're in America and it was Mayweather, he wasn't getting a hit, you give the rounds to Mayweather. We didn't get hit in them early rounds, just touching gloves, but didn't land anything. And then, like I say, 7, and then, like I say, Scott came strong, then 8, 9, 10, 11. I thought if we get this 12th round down, we're like, I mean, we've got this, but fair play to Carl, he came out from, like I say, a bad 11th round and took the 12th, and I thought, well, it's a round either way here or the draw, so, like I say, no complaints. It was a good fight, and like I say, it's all to a subjective scoring at them early rounds, but like I say, it was a good fight. Like I say, I could hear the crowd getting a little bit restless, and that's what we wanted. We wanted a pressure to come on Carl to make the fight, and I think when we heard that we were so far behind, then the onus was on us to go and make the fight then and take it to Carl, and that's what he did do. He set about him, and I know it was a lot more entertaining, but it left us a little bit more at risk. But fair play to Scott, he landed some good shots, and he had Carl, I think, nearly out on his feet in the 11th. So, like I say, we're more than happy, ready to do it again.
In a rematch, would you start a little bit more, with a bit more adventure, a bit more aggression?
All these guys' tactics.
I thought early on, it's when you get,
Yeah.
when you watch Mayweather, Pacquiao, when you watch Canelo, Cottle, the lead top fighters, people mention Ferrer and Morales, and you never see the first 3 or 4 fights, bar Hagler Hearns, where they go at it, they're so slow, and it builds up like a freight train, and then they go out at the end, and the respect there was shown in the first 4 rounds. It was like chess, and the people that said Scott didn't have a boxing brain then the build up to this, I think he showed that in the first 4 or 5 rounds, his movement, making Carl miss, making him overreach, and I thought he did really well. But like I say, the shot on the jaw just was like a bit of a curveball, and having to regroup from that and not take chances of getting hit on that again. But like I say, he came strong, made a fight of it, landed some punishing body shots, and fair play to Carl, he stuck up to them and came back with some of himself, and like I say, I think the fight will be remembered for the last 4 rounds instead of the first 4 rounds.
Were you in pain? Were you in pain?
No, I'm not gonna lie. When I got hit off, I thought just that didn't feel right, and then I couldn't close my mouth properly because it felt like my tooth was out. But no, when I got hit on it again, it was just numb. So no, it weren't painful. It was just you could just felt like I had an injection at the dentist.
Is the rematch the only fight you want? So you want another fight before?
Yeah, obviously it'd be the fight I want. You know, the guy just beat me, and I want to. You know, I 100% believe I can beat him. You know, being in there and being very comfortable, and then going over and putting it on him like I did in the last bit. Like I say, it's all whatever the judges seen. You know, but in them first early rounds, I wasn't getting it at all. You know, he might look to be a bit busy, I was making him miss, but again, I'm not going to be one of them that sit here and he's got the decision, he's a world champion, you know, he's a great fighter, and I'm not going to discredit him getting the win. The judges have seen it his way, so fair play to him.
Did you just have a chat after Scott, or any more just saying?
Say again?
Did you just have a chat after? Or
Just was in the ring, and there's always been respect there between me and him. It's part of boxing. You know, anybody who laces up a pair of boxing gloves and getting to sit in that ring, whether it's charity level, amateur level, or professional level, it takes a lot of balls and guts to do that. And someone who you're sharing the ring, a world champion, selling out an arena together. We've just both boxed on Sky Sports pay-per-view. You know, you've got to respect that, and we're only performing on that platform today because of we're both where we are. You know, me fighting someone else and him fighting someone else isn't going to make it. We're not going to get a pay-per-view fight with that. It was because of both of us, you know, and so I respect him and he respects me.
Would you offer him Belfast for the rematch then? Would you go there?
But we've had it down.
Yeah, that's what,
Yeah, we've had it down.
that's what, you know, we agreed that that's where it would be, and, you know, we'd jump it out both hands. I think it would be very loud. Thought the atmosphere tonight was incredible, both sets of fans, and, you know, generally... No, I think that Belfast is, you know, where the fight would be if there was number 2. But, you know, again, well done to the fans. What I can see in the initial assessment is everyone was reasonably well behaved, which was nice.
Do you like the idea of a constructed arena at the Titanic?
Not really, no, I think you get outdoors, Windsor Park or something like that.
Just best case scenario with Scott's injury is that.
Well, again, till he's assessed, he'll have an X-ray straight after. Yeah.
Scott, you said pretty much you'd be heartbroken to lose a fight and you hate losing. Are you carrying that sort of sadness with you, or do you look a little bit perkier than I expected, since you were so determined that defeat would be terrible?
So it's an act.
Okay.
Killing inside. You know, it's not going to come in and mope about in front of you all. You know, I'm absolutely devastated. You know, I'm a born winner. You know, if anyone shows, if I ever see a good loser, I'll say he was a born loser. You know, it's killing me. But I'll come back and, you know, I'll be better for it.
Eddie, how difficult is it going to be to go through these negotiations again? You've seen how long it's taken for this fight to happen.
No, it's not. It's just purely if the TV want it. If the TV want it, it'll happen again. So, you know, that's the process. The first thing to do is assess the injury. You know, the first thing that I said, part of my job is speak to the IBF and say, if he does not fight Shingo Wake, we want to fight Shingo Wake for the IBF title. And I think that's what would happen. I think he'd be re-ranked at number 3 anyway. There's no number 2. Number 1 is Shingo Wake. That's an option. We've got Guillermo Rigondeaux. Carl Frampton's not going to fight Guillermo Rigondeaux for the WBA title. We've probably got a shot at Guillermo Rigondeaux for the WBA title if we want that as well. Benito Donaire, we've been in talks with Top Rank for a long time for Benito Donaire. There's a fight he can go straight back into. I think he has 4 options, and I think they all involve world title fights. So, and he is gutted. I mean, you know, you've missed the tears, and you know he's not too proud to say it. And a special thank you to Wayne Rooney as well, who just spent a lot of time with him, you know, telling him to keep his chin up. He should be proud, you know. Not very often you get a chance to be a part of something like that in your career. And like I said, a little bit faster start, and I think he would have won the fight comfortably.
What did Wayne say, Scott, to you?
Just keep my chin up. I said I'll have to keep you straight in a minute first. But no, he was just saying, you know, he's lost Champions League Cup finals and it hurts. But you gotta, you know, keep your chin up and just, you know, come again and learn from it and come back stronger. And, you know, words from someone of his, you know, stature. I'm very grateful for him to come and give me them words.
Thank you.
Scott, was Frampton better than you thought he was, or was there anything that surprised you about him?
No, nothing surprised me. I always respected him as a fighter. I thought he was a quality fighter, but to be honest with you, I felt more comfortable in there than I was expecting. I was expecting to be under the cosh quite a bit in the first half of the fight. I thought we were going to start fast, but I've seen everything they were doing. I was onto every trick he was on to do it, except from obviously the uppercut. But the only thing that I probably didn't do myself was get my shots off quick enough. After in the early rounds, I was blocking all the shots. He wasn't landing at all. Maybe I should have counted a bit more.
I think Carl boxed very cautiously throughout the fight, and it was only ever Scott that was wanting to engage. Every time Scott wanted to engage, Carl would hold him up. and try and nullify the action. So he never wanted to engage with Scott Quigg, and I think that was his game plan, and it worked. You know, it was the fact that he didn't want to engage in the early part of the fight that won him those early rounds. And it was the fact that he would tie him up and didn't want to engage. And only really in probably the 11th and 12th, he started to engage. And massive respect for him for winning the 12th round, because I had it very close after the 11th round. But he was hurt badly in the 11th round. And I was screaming at Scott to jump on him because he was out on his feet. And when he went back to his stall, he looked in a terrible state, and he come back and he won the last round. So, but I think, looking at tactics, I think his plan was to box very cautiously, and I think it paid off.
Scott, did you think you were close to stopping him at any stage in that 11th round? Were you hoping to go
Yeah, I mean, I hit him with a right hand in that 11th round, and I knew it really pinged him, and like, I thought the 12th round, I come out, I thought, right, I've got him, because as I said, I seen him go back to his corner the way he did as well. I thought, his tank's empty. But the way I come out for the 12th, if you see, I come out and I swung an haymaker and I spun myself around. But, so in a way I did him a favour, because I come out too aggressive and like trying a bit too hard. So obviously it's like trying to drive a car with an handbrake on. You know, it works against you if you don't relax. And I come out trying to put it on him with power shots and with every shot instead of just letting it go. And he slowed me down, and it helped him, and he had a good 12th round. I still wanted some shots in it and caught him with some shots near the end of it, but he'd already, you know, probably danced away, and you know, I'd already spun myself around. So it already looked like I lost control of that round.
Scott, you seem to be throwing very hard body shots, and you did seem to be hurting him, but Carl was also throwing back at you. Was he hurting you at any stage in those later rounds?
The body of steel. You know, to be fair, he landed a couple of body shots, but honest truth, he was just bouncing off me. And it's just, I can take them all day to the body, but to be fair, he was getting off some good body shots, but I did feel like I was creasing him to the body.
Scott, how long do you think you're going to be out of action with this?
Has anyone got a crystal ball? I haven't got a clue. It's getting more and more painful as the adrenaline's wearing off.
Right, guys?
Just regardless of the jaw, are you going to take some time out of that? You're always in the gym. You're going to actually take a breather?
To be honest with you, if it weren't for the jaw, I'll be back in the gym Monday. Again, like I say, I'm putting on the brave face here. It's absolutely killing me inside, but I'll be back, and as soon as I can get back in the gym, I'll be putting the work in, and I'll make sure it never happens again.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much.
I knew that's how it was going to play out, and you can't really say that when it's a pay-per-view fight because it's so bad. So I knew that it was going to be like that very technical for the first sort of 6 or 7 rounds. It opened up a bit at the end. But I couldn't believe it. One of the judges I don't think it was close. He came on a bit at the end, but I think I won the first 7 rounds. Just doing very, very low.
Did you get a fright?
What's that?
Did you get a fright?
No, what? I kind of initially I did, and then I thought there's no way 2 of them have got it this wrong. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I don't know what one of the judges were watching, but I felt like I won the fight.
You said straight away afterwards that you would consider a rematch, and you know, Barry talked about Morales and Barrera. Their fights got better and better as they went on.
I like that. That's I like what you're saying. I understand that, but it's yeah.
Well, he's broken his jaw, so that obviously puts a bit of a time.
Well, look, I'm happy to have a rematch if the public demand it, and if it's a fight that's viable and stuff and everything else. But there's other options. To be honest, I would rather move on to bigger and better things now. You know, you look at it and you read about it, and it says split decision, but it wasn't a split decision. It shouldn't have been a split decision. I felt like I was very comfortable in there. If I have to have a rematch, no problem. But the words are oyster now, I think. I think we just move on.
Would you be surprised to hear that he thought he did quite well in the first 4 rounds until you cracked him with an uppercut in the 4th round. You thought he was doing okay?
I wasn't winning the rounds though.
Well, I didn't think so,
No.
but that was his view of it.
Yeah, and it was pretty boring. Yeah, it was pretty boring, the fight, but Shane told me, you know, we thought that that's the way it was going to go. He was going to move, and I don't really understand the tactics, if I'm being honest, because he was giving me rounds and I was having to do very little. I wasn't doing a lot, and I was winning rounds. But I don't know. I felt comfortable in that the whole time.
Do you think the boredom factor of as you described at the start of the fight? I mean, you boxed very, very nicely in that period, to be honest, and congratulations to you. But do you think what you call the boredom factor predicates against the rematch?
Probably, yeah. I need to watch the fight back, to be honest. It seemed pretty boring to me. The atmosphere was good, but I'll need to watch it back. But
Do what you had to do.
I don't. Yeah, that's what the plan was. From Shane says he's gonna go on the back foot. That's what we thought, and he did that. Don't get greedy with your shots. When you start landing, 3 punches maximum and get out. 1, 2, or 3 punches and get out, and that's all I done. Don't get anytime I nailed him. I heard Shane in the corner saying, "Don't get greedy." Every single time I nailed him, because he can block and punch back well off a block. But it kind of opened up a wee bit near the end, and he won a few rounds near the end. But if I felt comfortable as well, I think I hurt him with body shots, and that's meant to be, you know, his forte.
Yeah.
You know, he killed.
Did he hurt
with
you
the
with
body.
any of his own?
He could punch hard. He never hurt me to the body. He hit me a good shot to the head, but it was fine.
He claimed in the 11th round he'd emptied your tank and felt he was close to stopping you in the 11th round.
The 12th didn't work.
So I'm not sure what it was.
It's
He came out fresh in the 12th.
no, I don't know.
He did also say you won the 12th.
Yeah.
He said I won the 12th.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's.
He was tired because he was loading up so much because he believed he could knock him out. But
This is what he said. He said he came out too aggressive. He said it was like driving a car with handbrake. So he said this.
But I mean, you could sense him because he was loading up. His feet were terrible tonight, you know, and Carl's was just that's what won him the fight, is that adjustments all the time, stepping in, stepping out. As soon as he went to load up, Carl just stepped off, caught him with 2 or 3 shots, and you know, he made easy work of it tonight.
Did you find the first 6 rounds easier than you even
Very,
anticipated?
yeah, I remember coming back and sitting on the stool going, after about 4 rounds in, this, you know, I didn't feel like I'd done anything. I didn't feel out of breath. I didn't feel like I'd just done 4 rounds. I felt like I felt at the very start. It was very slow paced, but again, if that's what it takes for me to win rounds, that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to get daft and get involved in fights when I don't have to. If I can keep it nice and simple and win a fight and win rounds with my jab, I'm going to just continue to do that.
Sean, what did you make of their tactics?
Their tactics?
Yeah. I'm surprised they didn't try and inject a bit more urgency earlier than they did.
That would have meant committing.
It seemed that way. I mean, that's exactly the thing. I think Carl fainted and caught him with a decent 1-2, and his leg stammered in about the 7th or 8th, and then he caught him with a great uppercut as well in the later rounds. And although Scott was kind of pushing him and outworking him in a few rounds, the 4 rounds I gave him, I just don't think, you know, he's not very accurate. You know, Carl was just dictating the pace, and it seemed very strange how he's so fit and so strong, yet he gave away the first half of the fight. Again, the same thing he did in Salinas, he did it there, but he did it way worse tonight, and it cost him the fight. Carl, credit to Carl, he just did exactly what he had to do.
So what is the big picture now then? What's the ideal scenario from here in the next 4 or 5 months?
Well, we are on board with Al Heyman, and I don't know, what's the story with, does anybody know as the Santa Cruz Kiko fight?
No, it's a bit later.
So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. Santa Cruz is an obvious fight, very obvious fight. We'd like to go to America again, maybe East Coast this time.
Brandon might be here somewhere.
Brandon went.
Oh, he left. But I spoke to Louis de Cubas, who's one of Heyman's people, on the phone pretty much straight after the fight, and he says to me, let's go and make that Santa Cruz fight. So that's very appealing to me.
And it would be great if we could get him to come over here.
To Belfast, yes.
No, Belfast would be wonderful.
Featherweight fighter title.
He's the WBC Diamond Belt.
I think Santa Cruz could do super bantam, but if I have to go to featherweight, I wouldn't go to featherweight for a no mark. It would need to be a big fight and for a world title. And he obviously is a big name, and there's other big names at featherweight. But I promise you, this is the easiest I made super bantamweight this week. I haven't got a clue. Don't know.
We're going to have to sit down and make a genuine decision.
To move up.
No,
to
just
about
to
this
see who we next fight, you know,
But
that's.
that would be a move up. That's what
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
No,
There's options at this weight, and there's options above. So we.
Santa Cruz is up, isn't it?
Yeah,
He
yeah.
is, but in reality, he can be a super bantamweight.
Okay,
He's not, he went up to featherweight to avoid the super bantams, that's what he done. I mean, we don't want to be sarcastic.
Barry, you're also going to have the issue of both bodies wanting you to fight them out.
Yeah, so we, again, we're not making any decisions, we're gonna sit on it, he's the boss. He will say to me, I wanna go this way, I wanna go that way, show me the options, you know, and so we'll sit down and look at all the options, but quite honestly, with the greatest respect to Scott Quigg, he fought very bravely and everything else, but that's not an attractive fight for us. It's just we need to go and step it up to the next level, and I think Santa Cruz is a real possibility.
Carl, do other mandatories appeal to you?
What's that?
Does Rigondeaux appeal to you?
It does. I've always said I'd be happy to beat him. I feel like I'm the only guy in the super bantamweight division that can beat him. I think Donaire is also another fight. There's Ruiz against
Say
tonight. I think I just got their names wrong on Sky Sports. They're boxing as well. So there's options here, but I would be happy to fight Rigo. I've always said it. I would fight him, no problem. I think I'm the only super bantamweight in the world that can beat him.
But Barry, you don't think that's an attractive money?
I just don't think it's an attractive fight because he is negative. He backs off. He's amazing on the back foot. What do we gain by fighting him? It means nothing. So sure, if we go and fight Santa Cruz and we fight possibly Lee Selby, or we fight someone like Gary Russell, there's always a chance that he could come to 26 to fight us. We could even do it at 24. So 124. So there's a number of possibilities. You're going to look at the money fights. The money fight is a great fight. He's a volume puncher, non-stop, walks you down. It would be a breathtaking fight. And the difference between Santa Cruz and Scott is Scott was unsure and he just didn't want to throw because he was so apprehensive because he was been hit hard that he didn't want to let go. So Santa Cruz does let go, and it will be a fabulous fight.
You won't box off his fights from here on.
I just think this kid I think he's the best Irish fighter we've ever had. And that's a big, bold statement that I get told off all the time. And we're going to have he's got time to prove that. But I genuinely think if he's not the greatest Irish fighter, we intend to prove that he is one of the greatest Irish fighters over the next.
Jimmy McLaren.
McLaren will have something to say.
I think it's the first one ever to unify, and the Apple Leader must be kind of very proud with it.
First Irish boxer? Oh, it's very nice, obviously. No, I'm the best. No, it's very, obviously it's nice to hear. No one else has done it before, and it's an honour, really.
Carl, after all the hype and kind of like five up to what you might have expected, or were you nearly just relieved to get?
I don't know yet. They never really sink in until after. Everything always seems a bit subdued, even though the atmosphere was incredible. But when I get back home, and maybe when I go and have a pint tonight, it might change, and it might.
You're gonna
Half a pint.
Do you have an idea what sort of reception you're going to get when you go back now?
I haven't a clue.
There's half an Northern Ireland team been here tonight.
I know.
AP McCoy.
We did tell them that.
Yeah.
Michael and Martin O'Neill and everything.
Yeah, it was great, and the boys that walked me out as well. And these are guys I look up to, Stuart Dallas was playing Irish League football about 4 years ago, and now he's going to the Euros. It's unbelievable. They're what they've done as well, and sport is on a real high in Northern Ireland at the minute. And sadly, Ireland lost today to England. I watched that game, but I feel like maybe I've got the ball rolling here, and the boys can get a wee bit of something from that, and take it into the Euros with them, and do something magical, and get out of that group. Who knows?
Who's in your dressing room? He had Wayne Rooney in his.
Rooney's half juiced. Now I went and seen him, and I engaged back heavy on Quigg, so he's a bit annoyed that I lost the bet. But
Roy McIlroy, like you, Carl, that was the back between you.
Oh, was it them too?
Oh,
Very good. What sort of dough?
Whoever was going to pick up the tab next time we have dinner or something.
Seriously?
No, Martin O'Neill, Meg O'Neill were in, the four boys as well. I seen Jimmy Nesbitt with a retro Northern Iron top going mad. AP McCoy obviously too. I think someone said Tommy Bowen, Stephen Ferris were here.
They were
as well.
here,
I didn't see
yeah.
them, but,
Daniel Day-Lewis rang me last week and said him and Liam Neeson are watching it on Showtime.
Yeah.
So he said I was sorry he couldn't get here, but massive fan of FRAMPTON. So
what does all that mean to you? What is that kind of? You're a very modest man, you know.
Sure, me and Daniel are. Good to see me at the Ulster Hall in the 7 feet. We're best mates. No, it's unbelievable. Like it's crazy. It's crazy. You have someone like that. Daniel Day-Lewis, the only ever actor to win 3 Oscars, is saying he's right behind you and he's watching it on TV. It's crazy.